Andrew Bynum is the worst All-Star in NBA history? Let's find out. Hey guys, welcome back to Triple Double. Today we're looking at the worst NBA All-Star ever. What an honor it must be to get named to the NBA All-Star Game. Each and every year, 30 players, 15 from each conference, get selected to play in an exhibition game against one another. Along with the destination of being an All-Star, players also receive pay bonuses and endorsement deals as part of being named an elite NBA player. Inevitably, a player who is deserving of an All-Star recognition is snubbed, which usually causes an uproar around the league. The past couple of seasons, Mike Conley has been left off the roster, so he's a prime example of an All-Star snub. Year after year, we hear about All-Star snubs, but we rarely hear about faulty All-Star inclusions, and that is until now. And today, we're going to be counting down 9 of the worst All-Star players ever. Here we go. At number 9, Theo Ratliff. First up on our list is Theo Ratliff. He is what many people describe as a poor man's Dikembe Mutombo. He was a long and wiry shot blocker with not much else to offer, and in 2001, Ratliff was named to the All-Star Game, thanks in large part to playing alongside Allen Iverson, who was named the league MVP that year. Ratliff was injured during the All-Star break and was unable to participate in the game, and due to his injury, the Sixers were forced to find a center, and wouldn't it be fitting that they acquired Dikembe Mutombo? This acquisition forced Ratliff to the bench upon his return, one of the few instances where a player is an All-Star and a bench player in the same year. So in other words, he can thank Dikembe for his trip to the All-Star game. At number 8, David Lee. Despite being incredibly undersized and less athletic than his competition, David Lee actually had a few good years in the NBA. He was last known for his mop-up duty with the Golden State Warriors, but he was once a decent player. All-Star caliber? Maybe not, but he was more than serviceable. During his days with the abysmal New York Knicks, Lee got a bounty of minutes. In his defense, he did take advantage of the playing time. In 2010 and 2013, he was lucky enough to make the Eastern Conference All-Star team. His inclusion was purely numbers-based, and with his inflated minutes in New York, he was able to post stats that seemed All-Star worthy. But after 2015, Lee bounced between 4 different teams, including San Antonio, where he last played. So yeah, he's really not worthy of being an All-Star. Next up, at number 7, we have Gerald Wallace. He was a jack of all trades, but master of none. He was an above-average defender with a crazy vertical jump, and he could knock down a three-pointer here and there, but he was never an All-Star caliber player. In an ideal situation, Wallace would be the 4th or 5th best player on a championship team, but in no way, shape, or form would a successful team build around him. However, in 2009, it was proven that he was an All-Star caliber player. He made his one and only All-Star game that season by posting up 15 points and 8 rebounds per game. There's no denying that those numbers are good, but All-Star worthy? Really? I just don't see it. Nonetheless, Wallace will forever be able to say he was an NBA All-Star, and good for him, I guess. At number 6, Chris Kaman. When the LA Clippers drafted Chris Kaman 6th overall back in 2003, they were hoping he would be a perennial All-Star and a cornerstone to their future team. Unfortunately, that never came to fruition. However, Kaman did make the All-Star team in 2010. The Clippers wisely traded Kaman following his All-Star season when they included him in a package that brought back superstar point guard Chris Paul. Kaman did have some redeeming qualities, however, as he was a high IQ passer as a big man, and he had nice touch around the basket. But his athleticism was limited, and his lateral quickness often led to his matchups scoring on him. At number 5, Josh Howard. During those 2 years of his prime, Howard was a very nice player. Sadly, his prime was quite short, and even during the pinnacle of his career, he was still a fringe All-Star. Howard was a part of a couple of very good Dallas Mavericks teams, including the 2005-06 team that came up just short of an NBA championship. Alongside Dirk Nowitzki, Jason Terry, and Keith Van Horn, Howard helped the Mavericks reach the NBA Finals, only to lose to D-Wade and Shaquille O'Neal. During his one and only All-Star season, Howard averaged nearly 20 points and 7 rebounds. Based on just numbers alone, he may have a case for an All-Star berth. However, it's his defense that has me scratching my head when I think about him being an All-Star. Howard was oftentimes put in the small forward, and sometimes even the power forward position. He was often undersized and overpowered by his matchup, but then again, this is the NBA we're talking about, and defense is often optional. James Harden. At number 4, Roy Hibbert. Remember when the Indiana Pacers were inches away from a trip to the NBA Finals? When Roy Hibbert and Lance Stephenson were high-level performers on a quality team? Well, those were the good old days, weren't they? The thing is, though, that Roy Hibbert was never that good, and Lance, well, we'll leave Lance alone for now. Roy was just a huge body with a sliver of athleticism, but when you examine his production during his two All-Star seasons, it's clear to see he was a product of the Indiana Pacers system. In 2011-12, his first All-Star season, he averaged 12.8 points and 8.8 rebounds per game. Pretty average for a starting center. In 2013-14, his second All-Star year, he averaged an even less impressive 10.6 points and 6.6 rebounds. Somebody, please explain to me how this man was a starter, let alone an All-Star? What? At number 3, Jameer Nelson. A career average of 12.2 points and 5.6 assists per game are exactly what you would expect from a player like Jameer. He is a heady floor general who can be trusted but not relied on. However, in 2009, Nelson had the season of his life. He averaged a career high 16.7 points per game, as well as 5.4 assists, while also helping his team to an NBA Finals defeat. Paired with fellow All-Stars Dwight Howard and Rashard Lewis, Nelson was able to ride those coattails to the All-Star game and the NBA Finals. I feel bad knocking Nelson because he is one of the nicest guys in the league, but he's certainly not an All-Star player. In 2009, when he was named to the team, the Eastern Conference guard play was at an all-time low. For comparison, the Eastern Conference reserve guards that season were Devin Harris, Mo Williams, and Jameer. Bruh, I don't even know who those other two guys are. At number 2, Mehmet Okur. Mehmet Okur had extreme luck, as in extremely good and extremely bad. When he entered the league, he had already been playing professionally overseas for a couple of years. When he joined the Pistons, he landed on a team ready to win championships, which is exactly what they did, and Okur played a key role as the backup's big man, providing quality minutes off the bench while the starters got their rest. After showing that he could play at the NBA level and winning a championship, Okur commanded a king's ransom, which was paid by the Utah Jazz. In 2004, he signed a 6-year, $50 million contract with the Jazz, where he would have his one and only All-Star year. But the funny thing about Okur's All-Star selection is that it came a season too late. It appeared that the league was crediting him for work he did the season prior. In 2007, he made the All-Star team with averages of 17.6 points and 7.2 rebounds. Not bad, right? Well, in 2005-06, he averaged career highs in points with 18.1 and 10.1 rebounds. Mehmet's career is an interesting one, and it started very slow, then immediately skyrocketed all the way to All-Star status. Then, it bottomed out in the span of just months. Yikes. And finally, at number 1, Andrew Bynum. Another player who gets an All-Star nod thanks to his teammates, namely Kobe Bryant this time. There was no time in his career when Bynum deserved to be an NBA All-Star. However, in 2012, people began believing that he was turning a corner and becoming a star in the league. So, he was named an All-Star. With the prolonged dominance of big man in the Western Conference, it can only be described as voter fatigue, as to how Bynum snuck into an All-Star game. At the end of the day, Bynum showed his true colors and made it clear that 2012 was an aberration and not a norm for him, hence his awful career with the Sixers. Yikes. Well guys, that was it for today's video. Let us know what are the worst NBA All-Stars in your opinion in the comments down below. We hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys next time. Have a great day.